Hey, it's Nick Kemp here from IkigaiTribe.com. Just before we get into this episode, I wanted to let you know that I'm running an Ikigai workshop webinar this month. The workshop is 2 hours long and covers the work of pioneering Ikigai researcher Mieko Kamiya, the mother of Ikigai. We look at her definition of Ikigai and her 7 Ikigai needs. We will also take a walkthrough of a psychometric tool developed by Japanese university researchers that measures one's Ikigai, and we will also go over a Japanese Ikigai framework that offers a visual understanding of the Ikigai concept. Worksheets will be provided and the webinar will be recorded, which you will have access to. If you are a coach, psychologist, educator, entrepreneur, or Japanophile and are interested in understanding Ikigai in the context of Japanese culture, please join me for the workshop. Go to ikigaitribe.com/ikigai-workshop. Now on to the episode.
I can say it's like kind of the essence of Shinto, musubi. Now, musubi refers to the power to connect and bring things together. It's a working of between something and anything, right? How can I say? Everything in the universe.
Interconnects.
Yeah, that's right. Connective power. So everything in the universe. So nature, people, objects, and even emotions is interconnected.
Find your Ikigai at ikigaitribe.com. My guest today on the Ikigai Podcast is Taishi Kato, a licensed Shinto priest. Taishi serves at the Hattori-ten Jingu Shrine in the bustling city of Osaka, trying to strike a balance between preserving tradition while also innovating and looking beyond it. Having studied in London and lectured on Shinto to an international audience, Taishi is on a mission to spread the wisdom of Shinto to the world, believing that underneath its uniquely Japanese form, it is abundant with universal insights that we would all benefit from learning. Thank you so much for your time today. I could call you Kanushi, or I could call you Negi-san, but maybe I'll call you Taishi because you already feel like a friend. So thank you. Thank you for joining me today, Taishi.
Thank you so much for giving me the great opportunity to talk about Shinto.
My pleasure. Thank you. So what is fascinating, Taishi, is you are the 22nd generation Shinto priest in your family. So that's a lot of history. So were you always destined to be a Shinto priest?
Actually, no.
No.
To be honest, when I was a child, I really didn't want to become a Shinto priest. So as a 22nd generation of Shinto priest in my family, my heritage influenced me a lot. Actually, even my mother encouraged me to explore more different possibility.
Oh.
So she said that I didn't need to follow my family tradition. You can free to choose your path. But the turning point came during my university. Actually, I study business commerce at my Keio University, and most of my friends just searching for get career path. I also hunting for a job at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, I just found a book about my grandfather.
Oh.
But my grandfather passed away when I was a junior high school student. And to be honest, I didn't know where about my grandfather. My grandfather is I'm so afraid of him. He's so, how can I say, too strong to me. And he has maybe he didn't show me the like his personality. How can I say? He is always being a Shinto priest.
Priest, I see.
So for me, it's not like grandfather. But I just found a book about my grandfather. And actually, he became a chief priest at the age of 22nd. So 22 years old. So
Wow,
at
chief
that time,
priest.
yeah, chief priest. And at that time, I was a 22 years old. And he actually rebuilt a like totally ruined Shinto shrine together with local people.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe it has been just 3 years he rebuilt the Shinto shrine.
Oh, wow.
And how can I say, his like dedication and his achievements, and at a really such a young age,
Yes.
moved me a lot. I didn't know where about my grandfather, but I just like felt a connection with him, and I just decided to follow his footsteps. And I just decided to preserve and pass this tradition to future generations.
I understand. So he really dedicated his life to preserving Shintoism and sort of rebuilding this shrine for the community.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, I guess he took his role of a kannushi very seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Actually, he was in the position of like top of manager in Osaka. When he was maybe 50 years old, so it's so young.
Okay,
He's kind of like politician. Let's say.
I see.
Maybe my great grandfather is also Shinto priest, but he is not Shinto priest at Hattori Tenshingu Shrine. This is
Okay.
my and my great uncle. He's still living this world, so he was a chief priest at Ikuta Shrine in Hyogo Prefecture. This is one of the big Shinto shrine in Kansai area. And maybe compared with Ikuta Shrine, Hattori Tenshingu Shrine is not so big. And how can I say? My grandfather is so makezugirai. I don't know how to
Doesn't
say.
like to lose. Mm,
Yes.
yeah.
And also he want to change the shrine's world. How can I say? No matter what position, it's equal, right? So
Uh-huh.
it doesn't matter what Shinto shrines you are. So he changed this kind of like consciousness,
Mm-hmm.
and he tried hard to be like act like politician.
I see.
Yes.
That's interesting. His shrine to be more recognized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So very dedicated to his role of being a Shinto priest, but also to establishing your shrine, Hattori Ten
Changing.
Jingu. Well, there we go. So that served as some inspiration for you.
Yeah, it inspired me a lot even now. So sometimes thought that if my grandfather is here, how does he, how can I say, do in this world? So it's a really good way of my, how can I say,
Preserving his memory,
yeah, receiving his baton.
continuing his work.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure he'd be very proud of you. So,
yeah.
so we should talk about Shinto as a
Yes.
religion, and it is fascinating. And I do remember the day. I think I was living in Japan, and I first discovered, oh, Japan has two religions. How unusual, and how can they be harmonious? But now I think I understand. But with Shinto, it's interesting. There's no founder, no holy scriptures, and even no concept of conversion. So you don't become a Shintoist, for example.
Yeah, that's right.
So it makes it very unique as a religion, but I
Yeah.
imagine it's hard to explain. And then the word Shinto is often translated to, way of the gods,
Yeah.
but also they're not really gods. I've also seen it's translated as the kami way, so that might be more appropriate. So how do you describe Shintoism or Shinto, and what are kami, and how are they different from gods?
Yeah, it's always difficult to explain Shinto. Yeah. Even as you know, Japanese people don't know about the word Shinto, even though they visit Shinto shrine.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's totally different from like the concept of religion in Western countries. And Shinto is a way of life in harmony with kami. It's based on the idea that human beings are part of nature. It doesn't center on human beings. It's a different. So I think it's not a good way to say Shintoism. I think it's more proper way to describe Shinto.
Okay.
And and Japan is like, as you know, rich in nature, and with about 70% of the land area covered by mountains and forest. But on the other hand, the country is also like there are many natural disasters happen, such as earthquake, typhoon, tsunami.
Mm.
So Japanese people appreciate the blessing of nature. On the other hand, they live together with nature in all of its harshness. So it's inevitable to like avoid the harshness of human nature.
Mm.
We cannot control nature's power, and in ancient Japan, people depended on nature for agriculture and fishing, and also they feared natural disasters. So they believed that these natural forces are the working of kami. So kami on not like all powerful God or creator of the universe, or more like sacred spirits present in nature, such as mountains, river, trees, even the window and sun. And actually, some kami are also historical figures. Maybe later we are talking about this is
Okay.
because this is actually Hattori Tenzing shrines are kami of like historical figures. So they made a big, great contribution to society. So that's why. So these historical figures is also enshrined at Shinto shrines.
Wow.
And yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know people could be enshrined and then become referred to as kami.
for instance, emperor. Have you ever been to Meiji Jingu Shrine?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's true. Was designed or created for him. But I didn't realize he was also kami. Yeah.
Yeah. Most of maybe Japanese people don't know where about the. This is the kami of this Shinto shrine. Maybe they just visit. They cannot identify
Yeah.
what is the enshrined kami. This is very interesting point. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one of my questions, which we'll probably talk about later, was, is it more custom than belief? And my perception is Shinto is more custom based, and
Yeah.
the sense of, do you really believe there's a kami in everything? I've never really heard Japanese talk about, but when anyone in my social network is a Christian, or if they're Muslim, they really believe in this one powerful God. And yeah, they dedicate a lot of time maybe to prayer, to going to church. So it's very interesting, the difference. So I guess in Western religions, you have faith. You have to have faith in the idea of a God. Where Shinto, it seems to be I guess the perception is, it's so strongly connected to nature that, I don't know, maybe belief for me would be easier. It's like, okay, well, we come from nature, we are nature. Nature teaches us so much. It has this abundance. We survive, or we're allowed to live because of nature. But also, disasters can happen. So, and I love the idea that there is a kami, some sort of spiritual energy in everything, because I think it encourages you to respect it, to appreciate what you have. And Japanese, as a culture, they seem to have far more respect and appreciation for everything than most other cultures. So and I shouldn't push you, but if we were to define kami, would it be something like spiritual energy?
Yeah, spiritual
Yeah.
energy is good words. Maybe sometimes they describe life force.
Life
So
force. Mm-hmm.
yeah, but spiritual energy is it's great expression, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or sometimes deities also.
Mm.
Because as you know, there are many types of kami in Japan, so it's not easy to define one word.
Yes.
I mean, so historical figures also is enshrined,
Mm.
and also nature, or even maybe sometimes some object can be kami. So
Yeah, it's sort of vague, but it's still relatable, because you could think, well, there is a stone, there is a tree. You can feel energy from nature.
yeah, actually, do you know there's no famous Shinto place in the history?
There's no famous Shinto priest.
Yes, there are no Shinto priests, famous Shinto priests in the history. I think that's a huge difference from the another religion, because there is no, how can I say, definition of Shinto. It's
Ah,
not the language communication. It's more focused on ritual communication. So
mm,
we cannot easily describe in language. That's a really important point, to have a long history, to have a this history, this culture to next generation. This is a Japanese wisdom, I think.
yes, and it's very appealing, because it's a very different approach. And I learnt from, for example, Ken Moggy, who's been a
Yeah,
guest on this podcast, the idea of Yao Yorozu no Kami. Is that correct?
yeah, that's right. That's correct.
Which translates to 8 million gods. So could you touch on this?
Maybe this concept has been huge influence on Japanese culture. Maybe most of Japanese people use this concept to explain a lot of things in Japan, I think. And maybe Yaoru's no kami represents the belief that kami exists everywhere.
Mm,
So the number 8 million is not literal, but just symbolic. So expressing the diverse presence of kami. So even, how can I say, the kami has been increasing. We
yeah.
cannot, we can easily, how can I fix, this is the 8 million kami. It's
Mm,
always increasing. So it's not easy to fix this kami notions. And so Shinto embraces the idea. So multiple kami coexist. Each have their unique roles in maintaining the balance in the world. So for instance, there are kami of harvest, running, and rain, and forest, and of course food,
mm-hmm,
and protect specific places. And this concept allows for flexible and inclusive way of thinking. So where even different tradition can coexist in harmony. And as you know, in Japan, Buddhism and Shinto used to be like syncretism. So even now, Japanese people cannot identify which is temple, which is Shinto shrine. So, and also Shinto, how can I say, accepted a lot of religion.
Yes.
And to evolve in a different way. So because of the concept of Yaoyorozu no Kami, I think.
It is interesting they use the number 8 because in Roman numerals it's also the symbol of infinity because it's a closed
Yeah.
it's like a closed circuit. And then the kanji for 8 widens.
Yes.
Suggesting that what you just said, the number of kami is probably forever increasing. And I think when you first hear this as a foreigner, it's like very strange. Like, oh, how can there be a God in everything? But then, of course, it's not a God. And then Japanese can't explain it. So that's another interesting thing. But the customs involve often weekly or monthly behavior. There's a matsuri, or people just go to the shrine because they feel like going, or they have all these children's festivals. So it's very much part of their culture. Yet, as you keep saying, it's very hard for them to explain what it is because I guess they just grow up with the religion.
This concept, as I said before, this concept is very huge influence on Japanese culture without consciousness. For instance, we don't have the notion of individual in Japan. And human being has a different personality depending on the environment. How can I say? For instance, we have a maybe different nickname depending on the situation. For me, when I stay Shinto shrine, call me as a like Shinto priest or like Negi-san. But I also work at a kindergarten actually. This is also my family heritage, and so children call me as a like sensei, teacher. And also I have a family, so depending on the environment, we have a different personality, and everything is changing. Everything is interactive, interconnected in this world. So we cannot easily fix a personality. So this is a maybe concept of Yaoyorozu no Kami also, I think.
Yeah, it is interesting. We do have multiple roles: father, friend, in your case, priest, teacher. I've been a teacher, a consultant, and now I guess I'm almost an educator of Ikigai. But you're right. I think in the West there is this strong sense of self, and we value individualism. We pride ourselves on being different and unique. But in Japan, it's very much collective, harmony with others. And I guess that goes back to this idea of harmony with nature and understanding you're part of a bigger collective. So it makes Japanese, this is a general idea, obviously more selfless, but perhaps in the West we're a bit more self-oriented, self-focused.
Yeah.
I do find going to Japan very comfortable because of these reasons, and
I see.
I seem to, I don't know, just slip into the culture and think, this is nice. I don't have to worry about too many things.
I see.
And there's also a lot of structure to Japan, kimari monks, set expressions and behavior that makes it very easy to understand what to do. So yeah, it's interesting. I guess it's based on different values. So we should touch on the core values Shinto, which include these ideas of harmony with nature, purity and cleanliness, and reverence for ancestors. So would you like to talk on these values?
Okay. Have you ever heard musubi? Do you know this word?
Musubi, is that musubi to tie?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. And also, it's an expression of the kami, actually.
Okay.
I can say it's like kind of the essence of Shinto, musubi. Now, musubi refers to the power to connect and bring things together.
Mm.
It's a working of between something and anything, right? How can I say? Everything in the universe.
Interconnects.
Yeah, that's right. Connective power.
Mm.
So everything in the universe. So nature, people, objects, and even emotions is interconnected. This belief is reflected in like traditional Japanese customs such as bow in ritual, you
Oh,
know,
bowing.
bow,
Bowing, yes.
bowing as a
Hmm.
form of greeting, right?
Yes.
And actually, during the ritual at Shinto shrine, there's a time to offer prayer in a harmonious way. So two bow, two claps,
Oh, yes.
and one bow. And there's a one representative person there just offering prayer. They just in the same way to offer prayer. This is a symbol of harmony in the ritual of Shinto shrine. So we don't need to describe harmony in a language
Mm.
just to do the ritual. So in the like instead of language communication, we just do the ritual communication in order to feel the harmony with everything.
That is an interesting point, because if we go to, like, Christians might sing hymns, or maybe Muslims recite the Quran. Yeah, but in Shinto, you visit and clap your hands twice and bow twice, and then you clap again.
Yeah,
Is that correct? Yes.
two bow, two claps, and one bow.
One bow.
But it depends on the Shinto shrine. Some Shinto shrines are different way. So
And then maybe silently you would say a prayer
yes,
just in your mind.
yeah. But in my case, I'm offered the norito. This is prayer. I just saying to kami, like address, name, what's the his prayer.
Okay, so you vocalize the prayers for
Yeah,
visitors.
yeah,
And so what do? Do they write it out for you, or?
yeah.
Yeah.
For instance, if you want to keeping of evil spirits, just like writing the situation, for instance. Yeah. Yeah, I just like vocalizing to.
Have you ever had any unusual prayers or requests?
Yeah, sometimes even people cannot identify their feeling.
Yes.
So I just feel what's the problem of this visitor. And then I just saying to vocalize kami. Mm.
Okay. So I didn't know about that. And so would that be on a particular day?
No, every day.
Any day.
Yeah. Shrines open every day, so
Or maybe I'll come to your shrine and offer you a prayer to vocalize for me.
yeah, it's maybe do that. Yeah.
Mm.
My role is like actually Shinto priests describe having the role to nakatori mochi. It's like connecting visitors and kami. This is my role. We are the how can I say main character. We are not main character.
Main character.
We just connect visitor with kami.
Nice. Well, I like that idea. And I mean, Shinto is something I don't know much about. I've done some study, and the more I study it, the more I'm interested.
Yeah.
And so when I was doing research for this interview, I did come across Jomei Seijoku, which is Yojijukugo. So it's a 4-character word. And I love Yojijukugo, these 4 characters that convey ideas and have a general meaning. So it's a bit hard to explain, but imagine 4 kanji characters. So Jo means purity, Mei means brightness or clarity, Sei means correctness, and then Joku or Choku, honesty. So, yeah, is this a word you know well? Obviously, you know well. What does it convey in Shinto?
So Jo Mei Seichok. So actually, the highest position at Shinto place is described Jokai. We use the word Jo. So the most important word is Jo. So in other words, purity in Japan, in English, right? So let me explain about purity in Shinto. And actually, purity represents both not just physical but spiritual cleanness. So unlike the Western idea of sin, and which is often seen as like a moral failure, but impurity in Shinto is just temporary state. So can be cleansed through purification ritual. So impurity can arise from everyday experience, like negative emotions such as anger and sadness. So it's inevitable to avoid these temporary impurities because temporary. So we need to do purification like day by day. And one of the common purification ritual at Shinto shrine is temizu. Before visiting main shrine, we need to clean our body and mind. So wash your hands and rinse your mouth before approaching the kami. It's like this act symbolizes removing temporary impurities and prepare the mind and body for a sacred experience. And another example is misogi. Do you know this word?
I do know this word. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Please.
This is also a very important concept in Shinto. So it's like individual clean themselves by standing under waterfall or river. Actually, we have a training to get into the river and offer prayer in order to purify our body and mind. And it's huge influence on Japanese culture, actually. And maybe most of Japanese people do bathing, right? Taking a bath.
Bathing culture, yes.
Yeah. When I stayed in London, there's no bath, so I just taking shower.
Yes.
But in Japan, it's very natural to take a bath maybe at night or in the morning. This is not just like wash your body, but also clean your mind, like reflecting, like what happened today, or like removing the temporary impurities, and to refresh our body and mind, and to start the new day. So this is kind of purification in Japanese people.
So both a physical and mental and spiritual approach.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, bathing culture is very important and significant in Japan. Even when I visit my in-laws, my in-laws, this happened last time. I was there for like half an hour. And my father-in-law was like, "Furo hairu." Like, "Nick, you want a bath?" And it's like 5:00 in the afternoon. And I'm like, "No, I'm just here to say hello." Like, so maybe he saw many impurities. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. It's like maybe communication. Almost a good communication. Yeah.
So it was so funny. It's like, we're having tea and, oh, Nick, furuharu, like, what? So, yeah, the bathing culture takes getting used to as well, because Australia, we generally just have showers and we just see it as, just cleaning ourselves. And then if we do have a bath, it's more like a relaxation and, long hot bath. But yeah, Japanese do this every day. And I know my Japanese friends in Melbourne miss it. Like, oh, I feel like a furo haritai. So I guess the idea of purity is also conveyed with your clothing and the color white.
Yeah, that's right. This is a white. So white, it symbolizes purity.
And even is it shide, the paper streamers you see
symbolizes thunder. Yes.
Yeah, so that's representing thunder. I mean lightning.
Yes.
Lightning.
Lightning, yes. Because we need in order to do agriculture, we need the blessing of rain, right?
Oh yes.
So that's why we just offering prayer to Kami. So
Yeah.
thunder and cloud and also rain. Shimenawa.
Nice. Yeah, so every aspect of Shinto has a deep meaning or attachment to nature, I think.
The reason why I think we need to be in the state of mind purity is because connecting with Kami, I think. Actually, if you visit Shinto shrine, you will be able to find the mirror. Have you ever seen mirror inside the main shrine?
I think I've heard about this, to reflect.
Yes, that's right. Your mind.
Your mind, yes.
It's not. If you see it's like crowded, your mind is also not being purity.
Oh wow!
So it's like reflect of people's mind.
So as a priest, I guess you're expected to have purity, a pure mind, in your role. So yeah, these impurities of frustration, anger, resentment, hate, most people experience. Some people experience often, every day, for many reasons. And then other people don't. I mean, not that often. And they have control of their emotions. So as a priest, how often do you get angry? Not very often? Because you look very calm and peaceful and peace-loving person. Yeah. Do you ever get angry?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, it's not easy to control my emotion sometimes. Maybe it's not so much compared with businessman, I guess. I have many business friends, so from my university, I don't feel it's not so stressful. But actually, it's very difficult to manage Shinto shrine because we need to unify local people, for instance, to conduct the festival, for instance. And we need to change to preserve tradition. In my case, this is my role, I think. In order to change, we have to convince local people, let me do this festival, right?
Yes.
But the reason why I can control my emotion is because maybe I receive heritage or tradition and culture. It's like more than 1,000 years. So I feel like I have a responsibility to passing this tradition to next generation. So that's why I don't feel easily angry to something, I think.
Yeah, I think it's an important role, this role you have to maintain Japan's unique culture and religion. But at the same time, you are faced with dynamic change it's happening so fast now. Technology is really changing our life, and the kind of the irony is, I think Japanese themselves seem to be losing interest in their own culture, and
That's right.
a lot of foreigners are very interested in Japanese culture. This is a generalization. So it must be, at times frustrating for you to, how do I get local people involved in this matsuri that's probably had several hundred-year history,
Yeah.
even 1,000-year history, and you're trying to maintain that. So with that in mind, should we talk about your shrine,
Okay.
Hattori Ten Jingu?
Yes, Hattori Tenshingu.
Yeah, so tell me about your shrine and who's enshrined there, if someone is, or what kami's enshrined there.
So Hattori Tenshingu Shrine is located in Osaka, Japan, and it's known as a foot shrine. And and has this shrine is linked to Hata clan, an ancient family of skilled textile workers who just came from maybe Korea, I think, and just settled in Osaka. And in 900, we cannot say the exact date of the Shinto shrine.
Oh, wow.
And in 901, Sugawara Michizane, who was a scholar and politician, and he just, unfortunately, he was exiled from Kyoto to Fukuoka. He just stopped at this place on his way, and he, due to the leg ailment disease, so he could no longer walk,
Mm-hmm.
and he offered prayer at the shrine of medicine, the name of Sukuna Hikona no Mikoto, the deity of medicine.
Okay.
And he offered prayer. And his leg gradually recovered, and allowing him to continue his journey safely to arrive at Fukuoka. And that's why Hattori Tenshingu Shrines has been known as a sacred place, as a foot shrine. So it's been more than 1,000 years.
I see. Well, I should go because 20 years ago I had an operation on my leg,
Yes.
and some of the muscles of my leg were removed, my adductor muscles, and it's not a big problem, but my right leg probably needs some help. So I should come to your shrine and say a prayer, and maybe that will help my leg.
Yeah, let me offer prayer. Yeah, for you to the deity of Kami. Yeah.
Thank you. So the kami enshrined there is a kami of the foot, or what kind of kami is enshrined there?
Actually, so as I said before, the Sukuna Hikona no Mikoto, the deity of medicine, and also Sugawara Michizane. So there are two deities is enshrined. But in order to, how can I say, express easily, or in order to connect people, we say, not we, people say foot shrine.
Foot shrine. Okay. So it has the kami of treatment, not medicine, or
Medicine, yeah.
yes. And what's the other one? The actual.
Sugawara Michizane.
Who was that person who traveled through?
He is famous as the running. Like there are many students visit of a prayer after examination. So because running.
Learning. Okay. So health and learning, medicine and sort of natural medicine and learning. I see. Well, yes. I should definitely go because I can always learn more. So let's talk about your role at Hattori Tenjingu.
Yeah. Actually, my position is under my father. My father is a chief priest. My position is like, in Japanese, negi. Mm-hmm. It's like deputy chief priest, I think.
Okay.
And my responsibility is preserving the Shinto tradition and also conducting rituals, educating visitors about Shinto values. And in order to pass the culture to next generation, I also lead new initiative
Mm-hmm.
and connect our shrine histories, focusing on food health with modern concerns. So such as I just created food festival and hikyaku marathon festivals.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I think Shinto is based on well-being in modern age. So everything is connected to well-being.
Mm,
So my role is to use the culture of food shrine to adapt modern age.
I
So
see.
that's
Yes.
why I just created food festival and hikyaku marathon festival.
So that's an interesting challenge. How do you try to attract young people to your shrine? Through social media, or is it more trying to attract local people?
Actually, in order to attract runners, I just coincidentally found a really famous runner
Mm-hmm.
who are very interested in Shinto. And
Oh,
we
nice.
just gathered together and then to create a food festival. And then he just decided to become a Shinto priest.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he just got the license of Shinto priest to know more about Shinto.
Nice.
Yeah, so he has a really influence on runners, and I have a background of like history of Shinto, so we get together to create new culture to adapt
Mm.
the younger people.
Sounds exciting. So a bit of celebrity helps when someone's
Yeah, that's
famous.
right.
Mm.
Yeah, he used to be a famous TV show, Jones Tairik. Maybe if you
Okay.
search, it's very very famous TV show in Japan. Yeah.
There you go. So that always helps to have someone well known. Okay, so actually last November I did a retreat. I was a host of a retreat, and we did go to a Shinto shrine, and I was trying to explain, at a shrine there are these things you can purchase, like ema or a omamori or mikuji.
Yes.
And the ema is a really interesting idea. So that little wooden board you can buy, and then you write, I guess, a prayer or a wish,
Yeah.
and then you hang it somewhere, either on a tree or some designated rack. And I was astounded that, like, oh, why is it called Emma? And it has a relationship to horse,
Yes.
to a horse. So yeah, would you like to touch on the origin of the name Emma?
Okay. Japanese people used to offer forces to the shrine, but as you know, it's impossible because everyone cannot own forces, right? So, and some people write the picture of forces as a drawing, and then just culture has been changing,
Hmm.
and then now we use a wooden plate
Yeah,
to write their wishes. And I think writing wishes, maybe it's very important custom for Japanese people, I think. I don't know why, but if you write your wishes, you feel like your prayer is coming true
true.
by
Yeah,
blessing by kami. This is one of the Japanese, I think, custom. Yeah.
it's a good custom, and some of my retreat participants really enjoyed the idea.
Yeah.
So
And also omikuji is also very interesting. I think 80% of Japanese people who visit Shinto shrine, they draw omikuji. Even though they don't receive omamori, they are very, how can I say, addicted to omikuji.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can find people who draw twice or three times
Oh, really?
omikuji
So omikuji is like a fortune reading,
in paper. Yeah,
and they draw it. They pick one from a box,
yeah,
and it has everything from great happiness to bad luck. So,
yeah. But actually, its origin is very different.
yeah,
The
you've got
origin
to
of
be.
omikuji is
I didn't know
different.
people could be addicted.
Actually, the origin of omikuji is very different from contemporary way of like
Ah,
drawing the fortune telling paper. We used to decide the fortune direction by using the turtle's body.
turtle's body. Wow.
Yeah, using the fire, putting on the fire, and then you can the maybe direction, and this is a fortune direction.
Ah.
This is the origin of omikuji actually. So we use our natural energy to decide which direction we can say this is a like fortune coming, right?
So this is based on the turtle's
How can I say in English? Shell.
shell. Ah,
Yeah,
the design of the shell or the shape of
yeah,
the
yeah.
shell. Ah,
Yes.
fascinating. And so something fascinating I saw in Inuyama. I was at a shrine there, and I saw a Shinto priest, I think, bless a new car. And so he sort of had this, it almost looked like a bonbon on a stick. And he sort of walked down the stairs, and there was this young couple with a baby. And I actually spoke to a Japanese couple next to me saying, "Oh, what's going on?" And they said, "Oh, it looks like they've got a new car." And so they opened every door and the bonnet and the boots. And yeah, so I think it's called a harai gushi, like a
Yes.
wand with lots of
White paper.
shide.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he sort of waved it into each opening, maybe chanting something.
Yes.
So yeah, what is that? Is that obviously to protect the car and the people?
Yeah, this is a prayer of protecting the car. But in the case of like offering a safety drive to the main shrine, but after conducting the prayer at the main shrine, we just move to the car and doing the purification ritual. So we maybe that Shinto priest say the purification prayer to the car. 4 directions.
Okay.
So north, east, west, south. Because we believe that even the car has a spirit.
Yeah,
They have a spirit energy.
I see. And have you ever done that? Have you ever purified a car?
Yeah,
Yeah.
many times. It's
Okay.
very natural. So if you buy the car, they visit Shinto shrine and to receive the prayer of safety drive.
Mhm. And the streamers on the who folds, is that something you do or staff do? They fold the shide?
Shinto priest.
Shinto priest. Ah.
Yeah.
So you spend quite a bit of time folding white paper.
Yeah, but it's very natural. So
Mm.
it does spend so much time to
Mm.
create haraigushi. Yes.
I see. So yeah. So your folding skills would be good.
Yeah.
So we touched on this earlier, the idea of matsuri, festivals, and that's a big part of Shinto.
Yes.
And it's commonly said that you will always find a festival somewhere in Japan. So there seems to be many festivals. Is this a significant part of Japanese culture? Because Japanese used to have many villages.
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
In order to unify the community, and actually there are 80,000 Shinto shrine all over the Japan. It's more
Yeah.
than convenience store because convenience store maybe around 58,000, maybe I think.
Wow.
So as you said before, yeah, there are many actually countryside. You can find many Shinto shrine, yeah,
Mm.
because of nature.
So I guess many would be abandoned because of Japan's shrinking population.
Yeah, sometimes merged.
Oh, they merge towns to one shrine.
Actually, it's a good way to merge. So one of the Shinto priests just manage like 20 or 30 Shinto shrines. So you don't need to move that Shinto shrine to a different place because it's very meaningful to be that Shinto shrines existed in that place,
Yes.
because there's a history. So it's not good to just move to different place because due to the human beings, shrink population. But it's really burdened on one Shinto priest. It's very hard job
Mm.
to manage 20 or 30 Shinto shrines by only one Shinto priest.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's must be a struggle
Yeah,
because purity, yeah, they have to be maintained and clean.
that's
And so I guess one thing we haven't talked about is one way to distinguish a temple and a shrine is the tori,
pretty, yeah,
the sort of that unique gate with two pillars and the curving top, and they can be made from wood, stone, even metal or some type of. And one should always bow before the tori when they go through. And also learnt you should always walk on one side, never in the middle, because that's where the kami, is that where the kami pass through?
yeah, kami purse, yeah,
Yeah. So one thing I like about Shinto is when you do visit a shrine, the structure makes you present, so you're focused because you have to bow before you go through the gate because you're entering, I guess, the world of the kami. And then you have to be careful how you walk. I'm walking on a side, and then you purify. You wash your hands and mouth. And then, yes, you have to clap and bow. And then it's usually, there is a strong sense of nature because there's usually trees or.
yeah,
So it gives you like this moment to pause during the day. And it's like you're stepping into a different world for a few minutes.
yeah,
Mm.
that's right. Because tori symbolizes the boundary
Mm.
between sacred area and human beings area. So it's like getting into the different world. So sometimes I feel like Japanese people unconsciously know how to build that kind of spaces, using natural power.
Mm.
Or even if you visit Shinto shrine in the urban area, maybe you feel different things compared with outside Shinto shrine because maybe there is something essence including inside Shinto shrine.
I think so. I was in Shibuya on one of my last trips, and there was even this very small Shinto shrine sort of just around the corner from a busy street. And then, once you walk through, you have this sense of history and things seem quieter. And you then, you pull out a coin, maybe a goen usually. And you do this custom, and your focus is on just being there, and then you can have a look at the design of the shrine or the I guess the tori or other elements. So it does take you away, it takes your mind away, your body away, and then when you leave, you're still thinking about walking on the side, and then hopefully most people turn around and bow before they leave. So I think it infuses or reminds people to be grateful as well. Like generally, we have a lot to be grateful for. Where you're from, where I'm from, we're very lucky to be born in these countries. So this practice, it was sort of confusing, and I never really understood it. But as I begin to understand it, it's like really fascinating, and it's something I hope to share with my audience, and something I hope people who are listening to this go and do. Visit a shrine, or maybe even yours if they're visiting Osaka. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that question. Would you say Shinto is custom-based, belief-based, or is it both custom and belief-based for Japanese?
Maybe, yeah, basically custom based, but to some extent, I can say belief based. So, have you ever heard the word お天道様が見ている?
No, but someone's looking at you, or
Not someone. The sun is watching you, over you. So, sun symbolizes the kami of sun. Maybe you know Amaterasu Omikami is the ancestor of the emperor. So it's a enshrined kami at Isejingu. And unconsciously, maybe Japanese people feel that kind of like the sun is watching you. There's nobody teaching even at school, but we feel, that's just kami, maybe kami is watching you.
Yeah.
So we cannot do a bad behavior.
I like it. Yeah. Well, that's a good way to go about your day-to-day, thinking like positive encouragement. And the sun is very important to Japanese culture. It's part of the name on your flag.
Yeah.
Even when I went to Mount Fuji, and there was this feeling of presence, like the mountains kind of watching over me, or I feel the mountain. And the weekend we went, or the days we went, the forecast was terrible. It was like, it's going to be lots of fog. And so I thought, I won't see Mount Fuji. And then something happened, and the weather was perfect, and the view of Mount Fuji was amazing, and it looked like it was photoshopped. It looked incredible. I just couldn't believe how that sort of iconic image of Mount Fuji. But this sort of sense of energy. And even someone I interviewed talked about you can feel the mountain when you're near it. So maybe suggesting there's spirits or kami in the mountain.
Yes.
So this oneness with nature, be it the sun, a mountain, a tree, a river, a rock, is quite thought-provoking.
Yeah.
And I guess there's no fear. Kind of other religions, depending on the religion, if you do something wrong, you could go to hell, yes? Or you've sinned, and so you must be forgiven. There's no sense of fear with Shinto. And then when something bad happens, like these disasters, Japanese seem to learn acceptance, like can't control what's happened. All we can do now is control what we do from now.
Yeah.
So very powerful life lessons.
Yeah, that's right. We cannot change the nature. We cannot change the world easily, Human beings cannot control the world, nature. So, of course, nature has two aspects, good and bad, for human beings. But maybe Japanese people know that we cannot control nature. So that's why focusing on here and now.
Yes. And that's all we really have is the here and now. Even our experience of the future is always here and now.
Yeah.
So we only have
Yes.
the here and now. So if people would like to visit you or visit your website,
Mhm.
you do have websites and you have pages in English. So I'll link to your website in the show notes.
Mhm.
And if people Google your name, I think there's a few videos of you talking about Shinto. So
Yeah.
they can find that. But do you have a final message for our listeners?
Yeah. By listening to our conversation, I hope that we are part of nature. We feel we are part of nature. Even though we live a different country, but we are interconnected. So this is my final message.
Thank you. Yes. So because we're interconnected, I'd like to come and visit you. So
Yes, please.
hopefully that will be in June.
Mhm.
So Taishi, so wonderful to talk with you. And thank you very much for your time and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with me and our audience.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving a really great opportunity to share my experience as a Shinto priest. Yeah,
My pleasure. And I look forward to seeing you soon in person.
looking forward to seeing you soon. Yeah.
This episode was brought to you by the Find Your Ikigai course. Developed in consultation with Japan's leading Ikigai researchers, the Find Your Ikigai course is the only culturally accurate and evidence-based practical guide to the Ikigai concept. To learn more about the Find Your Ikigai course, please visit ikigaitribe.com.